chance gone down early on. It's the end of the first over, 4 for no loss.
It's almost a perfect over for Kalimullah. Almost a perfect over, and it would have been capped off. It would have been a brilliant take nonetheless, but one, you would have to say, Fayaz Butt, he'd be disappointed not taking that. Let's have a look here. The tall Kalimullah getting some bounce, getting some movement away. Anil Sa, he should have had it 2 hands. Had to go with 2 hands, Fayaz Butt.
He's on this ground or on this pitch?
Yeah, well, time will tell, wouldn't it? 123 yesterday, you would have said was well below par. Ended up being a winning score for Canada. And I think if you're in Nepal, you want to get into that 130, 140 range. Want to put some pressure back on Oman. But this has been a good start so far. Shakil Ahmed. And on the ball throughout the ODI series. Keep coming back to that ODI series, Manali, because that's the last time we saw Oman play. Would have been disappointed only getting that 1 win, the 1 rain out as well. So that's the only points they were able to manage. We've got to start to build some momentum. In this first game against Nepal, it's going to be an important one. They've got 2 more to go after this as well. Got to find some momentum in their squad.
And momentum is key. In fact, I had a chat with Harsh Tucker from the Canadian side, just asking him how they're going to adjust their plans, adjust their mindset to going into T20 series after 50 over series. He said, honestly, we're just going to be taking the momentum that we've.
अपकमिङ आउने सबै नेपालको म्याचेसहरुको लागि हजुरहरुले युसिङ टिभी च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन भने सबैले एकैचोटी एकैसाथ सब्स्क्राइब गरौँ है त सबैले एकैचोटी सब्स्क्राइब गर्दियौं हाम्रो सब्स्क्राइबरको टार्गेट 10 के रहेको छ र भोलि पर्सि आउने जति पनि म्याचेसहरु रहनेछ युएसए विरुद्ध स्कटल्यान्ड विरुद्ध सबै म्याचहरु यसमा हेर्न मिल्ने छ है त
Khalid Sana, how happy was he? We saw him on the boundary. You couldn't take that smile off his face after the catch, let alone the wickets. It's a brilliant fielding effort for Canada.
Yeah, player of the match as well. Khalid Sana. It was a tight pick between Khalid Sana and Saad Zafar. They both bowled so beautifully. Saad Zafar also one of the highest run getters game yesterday. Well, that's top-edged, and it's going to run away to the boundary. 4 runs here. Asif Sheikh picks up a boundary to his name as well.
Too much width on that occasion from Shakil Ahmed, allowing Asif Sheikh to free up his arms there, and he just had to beat the 2 men. And once he gets that, that's not a long boundary out there. Gets past slip, and short third man had no chance.
Back live, and this is a stumping appeal. Umpire says not out. It's going to be the end of the second over. Nepal 10 for no loss.
Goes all the way. Didn't get all of it, you wouldn't say, but just got enough to get it over that boundary rope. Still, all counts the same. 6 runs to Anil Shah.
Good positive start here. You could be as defensive as you want, but as you said, sometimes being on the offensive is what you need. It just puts the opposition on the back foot. Kalimullah now maybe in two minds, seeing that the batters are more than willing to come down. You see there's a conference out there in the middle now. Senior players getting together. And we might also have a lost ball.
Yeah, the umpire's just taking a look at the ball there. That might have taken a chunk off of it. Kalimullah, I don't think he'd want that ball change the movement that he was getting. But it's smart thinking from Anil Shah. Kalimullah just banging on that length consistently. And Anil Shah making him think a little bit differently now, coming down to get it. It's the one thing about T20 cricket that's going to be a little bit different than the ODI series is can't get too predictable, even with the new ball. Anil Shah coming down in this brilliant shot from him.
And he was really allowed to do that in the 50-over series, wasn't he? Just... allowed to. Chances, important chances. Half a shout. And single taken. How important are these chances going to be? 2 drop catches early on.
Yeah, two chances for Anil Shah. He's riding his luck, that's for sure. But Oman, they've got to do better in the field. They've got to hold on to their catches. It's going to be key in this game. You know Nepal will be well in the field.
So important to hold on to those catches when they come your way. And Anil Shah might be riding his luck a little bit, but he's certainly making the most of it.
And again, I don't mind the plan. There's nobody behind square on the boundary, so you just have to beat that man at 5 leg. And the man at 4th square leg, which is Zishan Maksud, in the ring. So you can get it over them. It's a boundary all day of the week. But he just got it 4 to square, got it more mid-wicket than the square leg.
Defensive now, and for good reason. Decent couple of deliveries from Shakil Ahmed. Painful as a bowler, isn't it? You create those chances when they're not taken. Oh, he's going for the big one, and he's going to clear it with some distance. It's out of shape this time. 6 more runs added, and it's again off the last delivery of the over. Nepal, 4 overs gone, 28 for no loss.
We should give those Nepali fans something to cheer about. They're definitely cheering right now.
नेपालको बाँकी रहेको ट्राई सिरिज नेसन अन्तर्गतको सबै म्याचेसहरू आउने दिनहरूमा हेर्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने हाम्रो यो युसिन टिभी च्यानललाई चाहिँ सब्स्क्राइब गर्नुहोस्। यदि यो
into the netting. Brilliant into the over. 9 runs coming off it. Shake's joining the party. And it'll be a bowling change, Manali. We saw him warming up. Fayaz Buddy to the attack now.
You're a bowler in your prime days. Not very
You think
nice.
I'm not in my prime now, Manali?
Absolutely, am, yes. I think you know it too. Well, pushed into the offside. Slightly uppish as well. They're quick between the wickets. The Nepalese, they're very sharp when it comes to testing the fielders. You know all about having chances put down off your bowling. How about getting hit for 6 on the last ball of a decent over?
Yeah, well, the spinners, I don't know how the spinners deal with it. They get hit a lot more than us fast bowlers. And I'm being courteous to myself. I was never a fast bowler. Probably slow more than anything else.
No, but definitely feisty.
Definitely. I was talking to your husband, and he was talking about how much he used to hit me all around the ground, so I wasn't too happy with him. I'll be having to chat with him later on when I have a little bit more time, and you're not around, so I can tell him how I really feel.
He's still playing.
Yeah, he's I'm well past my prime. But I'll tell you what, Fayaz Butt reminds me a lot of myself. He never looks like he's 100%. You always see him walk, and you always think there's something going on there. But he puts in 100% effort. And I was like, man, I always had back problems, knee problems, ankle problems, and then never looks like, but he just always is up for the fight, always up and puts 110% in for his country and his team. A brilliant warrior for Fayaz, but he would have been disappointed with that drop catch. He's going to want to make up for it here.
Well, it's gone straight down the ground. There's no chance for mid-off or mid-on. Good batting this. They're targeting safe areas. Anil Shah has just picked up a boundary to himself.
Yeah, Anil Shah targeting the straight down the ground. As we mentioned, that's a short boundary. Back of a length for Fayaz, but not the length that you're looking for on this wicket. You can see him just telling himself there to get that forward. Anil Shah, he's starting to get into his groove now. It's a brilliant shot down the ground.
It's a tough job being a fast bowler. You mentioned it, a lot of injuries, everything from shoulders down to your feet. This time goes leg side, and it's another gap. It's back-to-back fours for Anil Shah. Well, batting doesn't get much better than this. He's completely taking on the offensive right now.
And Ahmed Fayaz Butt just struggling to find his length on this occasion. That's all it's been from him. Anil Shah just waiting on length. Back of a length on the previous delivery. Full of length on this time, and this one just goes over mid-wicket. In the power play, only 2 men allowed out. Plenty of gaps out there if you can beat the inner ring. And Anil Shah doing it well here. He's moved on to 27 off 18.
Much better control with the bat today for Nepal compared to yesterday against Canada. And as we say that, we're going to see a fielder drop into that cow corner, just wide of that mid-wicket region. There's a mid-wicket fielder as well, now coming on the boundary. Swing and a miss. A good contest this between batter and bowler.
You can hear that grunt from Ahmed Fayaz Butt as he passed the bowler there. As he passed the umpire there, sorry, in his delivery stride. He put a little bit of extra in that. He wasn't too happy. He's a feisty character, Ahmed Fayaz Butt. Never too happy getting hit for back-to-back boundaries and just putting in that little bit of extra effort on that delivery and getting some shape away from Anil Shah.
This is a good start and good use of the power play for Nepal today. They really have put in the hard yards. Good balance between being aggressive and being smart. Just missing that outside edge. Again, movement on offer. And it's going to be the end of the 5th over at 38 for no loss.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's it? TD, ready for you.
Bowling the big Cali mullet, and then an easier chance I felt out of deep mid-wicket by Khalid Kale, who never got into any kind of position to hold on as Ishan Maksud comes into the attack. Andrew Leonard joining you here, delighted to have Matt Bonner with us again today, the former NBA player who's very much enjoying his first taste of international cricket. Is that fair to say?
Definitely fair to say. It's been a crash course in the sport, especially after yesterday's exciting match against Team Canada, Team Nepal. And if there's anything I learned in this format, every play counts, every play matters, every play can be the difference between winning and losing. It's all about efficiency and execution. And you mentioned those 2 drops. You just can't have that. You know, Oman's going to be kicking themselves when it comes down to the end. They're going to look back at those 2 drops as the difference between winning and losing.
Now another chance, and the keeper should take this. He nestles underneath it, and he does hold on. Pratikatavele. Zishan Maksud's a difficult bowler to get down the pitch to because he's very, very clever. He just holds it back. And Sa, with that kind of languid, wristy style that he has, he was looking to hit straight down the ground, where it's shortest, but instead it just went miles up in the air. Easy catch when he got the gloves on for the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Simple play. We saw them doing dozens of reps with that same very catch as their pregame warm-up. So, I mean, that's it.
Everybody, subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches. Subscribe Yushin TV for upcoming Nepal matches.
Match, and that is now the first wicket to fall. It ends that opening partnership. The score, it's 39 for 1.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Team Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Team Burger. Let's go.
So Lenny, we saw in both matches in this series, the team that won the toss electing to bowl field first. Is that a typical strategy across all formats of cricket?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly in the T20 format recently, sides very much want to know what they're chasing, and they also then get first use of the facilities. At this time of year as well in Canada, we're well into autumn now. You know, summer's a long time back. You know, you have that little bit of moisture early. It's a 12 o'clock start. So when you go out and kind of put your hands across the pitch, the playing surface, you could still feel a little bit of coldness, a bit of dampness. So any of the assistance you get from the new ball will be earlier in the day. And then as the sun hopefully bakes that pitch out, it should get easier to bat on. That's the theory. The problem for Nepal was yesterday they weren't able to execute that plan.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue it's harder to field when it's wet, though. Slip and sliding out there a little bit, no?
A little bit of that, but really the fielding, even though it's critical, you know, what the ball is doing to the batter is the most important thing. Is the slip's just going to come out of play here now. Final ball of the power play, probably about honours even, I'd suspect. As Dev Canal can't get off the mark. What an over from Zishan Maksud. He's closer to 40 than he is to 30, let's put it that way. With 6 bowled, it's 39 for 1.
So Lenny, advantage of knowing what you're chasing. When I was in the three-point contest in 2013, I was runner-up to Kyrie Irving. Beat Steph Curry in the semifinals, had the high score. It had the luxury of choosing whether I wanted to go first or second in the finals against Kyrie Irving. And same thing, I chose second because I wanted to know.
You wanted to know.
where I needed to be. Unfortunately, Kyrie Irving caught absolute fire, and I couldn't catch him.
It's a kind of double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're hoping to play good on defense, like you were saying.
Yes.
And then
Precisely.
know what you're going to get. I wouldn't have picked you again. My basketball knowledge may be similar to your cricket knowledge, if that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't with some good grace.
But I'm sure you've heard of Steph Curry.
Of course I have, but I wouldn't have picked you just with your natural height necessarily. As the outside edge is beaten, good bowling from Fayez, but as a good three-pointer. But you were a good three-pointer.
I was. I led the league one year. I was one of the old school big man three-point shooters, which now is very common in the league, but when I was in my prime, it was kind of a new thing. Big men shooting a lot of threes. We call them stretch bigs.
Stretch bigs.
Yeah. I was a old school stretch big, and now it's commonplace, so almost every big shoots threes. Big meaning like front court, tall.
Okay, the front section of the court, yeah. This is whipped off his legs. Should think of a couple, even though it's the shorter side of the ground, and he will get there. Good piece of athletic fielding, one-handed pickup and throw to get off the mark for Dev Canal.
Nice hustle there. I could definitely see also if the ground's wet, it slows the ball down on rollers like that, giving the fielders an opportunity to chase them down before it hits the limit.
Yeah, one of the tricks for Nepal here is gauging, given that they're on the same surface as yesterday, what a good score is going to be. We didn't think 123 was going to be a winning score. Nobody did in the entire venue, even the most faithful of Canadian fans. So Nepal have to readjust their sights. They have the benefit of knowing we're on the same pitch as yesterday. So they might not be happy with 120, but are they thinking 140 is actually going to be a really good score, particularly if you think about the way they bowled and fielded yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, if they can duplicate that performance on defense yesterday, I would say that's a great score. how long this run-up is.
Now, this is going to be close, and yes, the finger goes up. It's maybe kept a little low. I have to say, it's possibly not the greatest shot. He's come right across the line. A big hack across the line. It skids on, keeps a bit low. The only question for the umpire will have been, has it struck in line or not? It's definitely got on and hit the stumps. The first LBW you've seen is given.
Yes, we didn't see any umpire calls yesterday. Let's take a look. Oh, for sure, that was definitely going to hit the wicket.
Going to go on and probably smash into off stump. So Dev Canal's promotion to number 3, just his second T20I, that has not worked. Ahmed Fayez but strikes, and the second wicket falls. Kushal Malla to the crease, and he just watches that one through. Gets us to the end of the 7th over, and the score is 42 for 5. So namaste, warm welcome along to the commentary box. Andrew Leonard here alongside the former NBA star Matt Bonner. Matt, great to have you with us. Got something for you here. Actually got 2 things for you.
Okay.
You've heard my nickname, haven't you, in Nepal?
I have. It has something to do with this, right?
Yeah, with the Taklu Dai.
Yes.
I love the nickname Taklu Dai. So that means bald elder brother. So we've got to thank Sujan Shrestha for this one. He says that we've got to give Matt a nickname because we know he's really enjoying Nepal. He's going to be called the Lambu Dai. So you are officially now the Lambu Dai, which is the very tall or the giant elder brother.
I love it.
And it's so great to have
What
you
an
with
honor.
us. I've got to show you one more thing as well. This is what they call a Dhaka Topi. So I'm going to ask you very quickly, take your headset off. We're going to see if this Dhaka Topi is going to fit Matt Bonner. Let's have a look. I can barely get up there. Let's get a look. Oh, got to open that out. And what about that? What do you reckon? You have to bend down to show people. There you go. How good is that? It looks, I tell you. Give a namaste as well. We'll give a namaste. We're struggling to get the headset on over.
I'm going to adjust. Just figure out how do I work. What's it called one more time?
Okay, well, look, there it is. So you are, that's the Dhaka Topi.
Dhaka Topi.
And you're the Lambu Dai now.
The Lambu Dai.
Lambu
I
Dai.
got it. I'm going to have to add it to my Instagram profile. Red Mamba, Red Rocket, Lambu Dai. Got it.
We gotta love the Lambu Dai. So that were they your playing nicknames when you were playing? That was, you had kind of 2 very specific nicknames.
I did.
Red, what was it? Red Rocket.
Yep. Red Rocket was my nickname when I played here for the Toronto Raptors. And it was because, I mean, A, I have red hair, and B, I didn't have a car. I take the transit, the TTC.
Hold on a second.
Which
you
is
were
nicknamed
playing in
the Red
you were
Rocket.
playing in the NBA, and you didn't have a car.
No car. Look, Toronto's a big city, great public transit system, parking's a pain, insurance.
This was by choice, you're telling me.
Absolutely. It improved my quality of life. I didn't have kids. I was younger.
Man,
Not a family.
I took an immediate liking to you from the first time I met you, but I adore you now. You're a man of the people.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the traffic in Toronto, who wants to drive in that if you don't have to?
So
right?
you don't have the Tyreek Hill Lamborghini going. You just,
No.
you're straight
No,
in on the.
I just want to get from point A to point B.
Good idea. Well, look, what do you think of the nickname, the Lambu Dai?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
It
isn't
has a ring to it.
There's also a huge culture of respect in Nepal. Life is all about respect, particularly to your elders. So what you'll hear, even Rohit Paudel, you'll hear him during post-game shows, he'll refer to the older players in the team, even though he's the captain. He'll say, well Karen Casey died, Sampal died, bowled brilliantly, you know. And
I love that.
It's really nice, isn't it? A big part of their culture, and they're a very proud nation, and rightly so. It's the most beautiful country. And I think we're all shocked with the images and catastrophes that have occurred, particularly in the valley, but also in the more rural regions of the country. We heard Rohit Paudel talking about his thoughts and prayers being with all of them, and all of ours are too. But it's great to have you now engaged in a bit of Nepali culture.
I appreciate it. It's an honor, and definitely our hearts go out to everyone affected by the flooding in Nepal, and hoping for as speedy a recovery for the country as possible with that.
End of the 8th over. It's 45 for 2.
Don't leave me soft kicks. Get ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So 8 overs gone. Nepal, they're going okay, but they are, for me, I've got to say, Matt, how closely I follow the Nepal side, all the associate teams, but they're in a rut. They're in a position, I think, from a confidence point of view, from definitely a little bit of mental fragility. It's been 163 days since they won an international. They played a lot of cricket in that period. They were in great form in the ACC Premier Cup in April. I think many thought that they were going to qualify for the Asia Cup again. And they lost their final 2 games, the 2 crunch games there, going down to UAE and Hong Kong. Then they were exceptional at the T20 World Cup. I'm also talking about full internationals. They did win a couple of games against West Indies A, as Rafiullah comes into the attack for the first time. It's going to be a wide down the leg side, but certainly going to that World Cup where they were so good, they nearly beat South Africa, which would have been one of the biggest upsets maybe in the history of the game. They lost by 1 run off the very final ball. Heartbreaker.
Yes.
I'll show you some footage actually when we come off here. Amazing game of cricket. Very nearly beat Bangladesh, who are another one of the test nations. But since then, they did have a break. But 4 ODIs here, lost all 4. You could just see yesterday it was a confidence thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could tell. You could see the body language. The body language, that last diving catch, it's tough in any team sport, especially with the grind that cricket seems to be. You mentioned all these different tournaments, you're traveling, you're far away from home. It's so important to stick together and keep that chemistry and positivity going regardless of the result. Focus on the process. It's hard. I've been on basketball teams that stink, that lose a ton of games, but you just got to stick together and stick with it. Things will change if you do that. Coach Popovich, Greg Popovich, legendary NBA coach, 2 things. He's a big fan of the term pounding the rock. You pound the rock.
What does that mean?
You hit the rock with the hammer 100 times without so much.
It's eventually
going to crack.
Yeah.
But on the 101st blow, it splits in half.
You just got to keep working.
Blow, it was the 100 that came before.
Yeah.
And then he has another phrase: the worm will turn. If you're about the right things, eventually your fortunes will change. The worm will turn. On the Spurs, when we were having tough moments, tough times, those were the 2 foundational messages that would kind of get us through, back on track.
What was kind of, I suppose, the longest period? Was it, 20 games? Was there a period?
We were really good on the Spurs when I played there. We won 2 championships. We were a contender every year. So
you didn't have a long.
It wasn't that long. Yeah, maybe we'd lose 2 or 3 games.
How many games you play in a season? It's a lot, isn't it?
82 regular season, and then however many in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So playoffs is like a second season if you go all the way.
Because it's like a best of 7, best of 5 series, that sort of stuff.
Playoffs are 2 months.
Big swing and a miss. Kushal Malla just continues to look a little out of form as the outside edge is beaten. Rafiullah,
and you're seeing the body language now. Is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're kind of sensing some of the body language stuff with these 2 batters. It doesn't matter. You got to stay positive. You got to keep the energy.
It's what it's all about, and I suppose the problems for Nepal haven't so much been with the ball and in the field, they've been with the bat.
Yep.
And that's the kind of the sole thing you do individually in cricket. You know, when you're bowling, you got all your teammates out there supporting you in the field. Your batting is just you and your partner, but really it's about how you bat individually. As that's a big full toss. Now it's going to be a no ball, so even if this is taken, it won't be out. Both umpires immediately indicating that because this is not pitched and has gone over the waist high of the batter, it is a no ball. That's a good decision for me. Mallow will get a single, but critically, as the 50 comes up, Asif Sheikh is going to get a free hit. And what that means, Matt, whatever happens here, he can't be out.
Love that. Let it rip.
It's a free hit. You do what you want. Now, the only little advantage for Rafaela is that because the batters have changed, he's allowed to change his field. So what he'll do is he'll set a very defensive field. Everyone will probably go back and flex.
Why did that happen? Did the ball just slip from the bowler?
Yes, what he's doing there, he's looking to hit the block hole right up towards the white line, which is we call the popping crease there, and that's a very difficult place to hit the ball. But sometimes you just get it that even fraction wrong, your release point. The Yorker, which is what we call the ball when it goes up there, it turns into a full toss. And actually, he'll get a warning for that. If he bowls one more of those, he's going to be out of the attack. Here comes the free hit. No real timing. It's a slower ball. Doesn't matter if it's caught. It's not a drop chance. Don't worry. Wouldn't have been out even if it was caught. So one more run to the total and not too much damage done. But Rafaela, who's only come into this squad for the T20s, just battling a bit, isn't he? Not hitting his lengths and not bowling particularly well.
So the team that's batting, you know, just spatially on the field, how much can they hear from the rest of the team sitting off to the side there?
Yeah, so it really will depend on the coach and depend on kind of the setup of the team. Some of the coaches are very active, even if you sometimes walk around the boundary. You are now allowed to do that. A little bit of a change to the playing conditions a little while ago was that when we do drinks breaks, the coaches are actually now allowed to go out a little bit like you would in a basketball timeout and kind of get the instructions more baked in. But the captain on the field, he is almost like the coach. So they've got a huge role to play. They make all the bowling changes. They decide who's going to go into which position. They'll consult with the bowlers when they want to bowl and the like. But really, some would actually describe the captain in cricket as more like the kind of the team kind of manager, the team coach. It's not like in soccer or in rugby where really it's just a ceremonial thing. It's the guy who shakes hands at the start. In cricket, it's a massive role, and the difference between a good captain and a bad captain is very, very noticeable.
I can imagine. How important is it for the captain to be one of the better players on the team? Does that matter?
Edged, and it's going to be edged away for 4. Well, a spectacular effort from Pratik Attavele, but it's not a great first over from Rafaela. It goes for 10, and with 9 bowled, the score is 55 for 2.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community. We hire local and we serve local. Program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Zishan Maksud. He's been a thorn in Nepal's side for a long, long time. Definitely towards the autumn or the winter of his career, but still very experienced. One more look at this effort from the keeper. Great spectacular athleticism. Look at this.
Oh, right off the fingertips. Great effort. But yeah, I was talking about captains. You're saying how important it is in this sport. And in basketball, I think it's important that the captain is like one of the best players on the team. It doesn't have to always be like that, but I think in general, like on the Spurs, we had Tim Duncan, one of the all-time legendary, probably a top 10 player all-time in the sport of basketball. And he just set the tone for everyone. The coach could coach him. He hold everybody accountable. It's like that's an all-time legend. If he's doing X, Y, and Z, I better be doing that too.
Yeah, you better be on it with him. Yeah, Malin loves left arm spin. Wonder or suspect he'll take it on pretty soon, but for now he's happy to check it down for a single. In cricket it's a little bit different because the strategy of the game is so advanced. People have described it as chess on a field. Chess in a 360 degree, massive playing field in conditions that can differ so wildly from country to country. Shake goes down the ground. That's going to be 6. That's
Over
the
the green
perfect
monster.
place to hit, and it's going to go all the way. 6 runs to the total.
Yep, they're going to have a hard time finding that ball.
Please
Again,
subscribe this
we got to look
channel.
up what road that is back there.
We got Dufferin
Put
to
a
the
sign,
left.
watch out for cricket balls. Look at that thing.
You can see it. Brilliant ball followed by Jeremy up there on the top of the tower, and the ball is indeed
The
lost.
camera guy with the umbrella up there had to duck.
That's where I think something Nepal haven't done particularly well is target straight down the ground, because that's
The shortest.
at this venue where you get good rewards. So again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we've got 57-meter boundary straight down the ground from the north end. There's Jeremy up there. Give us a wave, Jeremy. Come on, there you are. Great job up there, my man. And then we've got 65-meter square boundaries, so that's 65 out towards the Dufferin Street Road, so for Asif Sheikh to
That's
his
it.
leg side. And then 60 metres to the offside where the fans are, and then it's about 60 metres back up towards us at the pavilion end. But just to answer your question a bit more about the captaincy, because you need to have advanced tactical minds and really be thinking about the game. Sometimes the best players aren't actually particularly good captains, and sides get kind of lulled into that. They're like, oh, well, we've got to make him the captain because he's such a good player. But then he takes it on, and strategically he's not very good. I'm not going to name names, but there's been lots of instances of it over the years. And actually, I think for me, Oman might have maybe fallen into that trap a little bit, because Akif Ilyas probably their best player by a distance, but Zishan Maksud probably is their best cricketing brain, and Zishan Maksud was replaced as captain by Akif Ilyas in April, just ahead of their World Cup appearance. So what we've ended up with is maybe a little bit of a drop-off in the quality of strategical thinking from an Omani end. And I know Akif Ilyas will consult with Zishan Maksud a lot, but it's a bit different. You want that one solo leader.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. I think when those two things align, it creates a synergy in that position. Is all I'm saying. For sure, like if your best player doesn't have the sport IQ to execute strategies, and be a leader.
And as you've seen, cricket is such a complicated game. There's so many facets to it.
Yep.
You talk about the matchups, the left-handed bowlers, right-handed bowlers, which side of the wicket you're going to come,
Yeah,
whether you're going to have
so
a
many variables.
fast bowler or a spin bowler, whether you're going to bowl wrist spin or finger spin. And that's, I guess, for those that get into cricket, that's why they find it so fascinating. And I'll tell you something, no two games are the same. They really aren't.
That's for sure.
So Mala continues to be cautious and unsurprisingly often takes on the left-arm spinners, but it will get us to the halfway stage. Nepal have a platform. Can they capitalise upon it? With 10 bowled, we will have the first drinks break of the first innings. Nepal were inserted to bat, and they have got at the halfway stage to 65 for 2.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD